start now. Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to ABB Talk webinar sessions. Today, your webinar will be about augmented field procedures, and we welcome everyone. Thanks everyone to participate in that. I would like to thank you to accept our invitation. So today we're going to about have a 1 hour session talking about the main topic of augmented field procedures. And I just need to highlight to everybody that all the attendees will be muted. However, we will be having a time for a Q&A session by the end of this webinar. And also, I just want to highlight everyone that this webinar will be recorded and it will be also saved in the main website in ABB, which will be sent to everybody by the end of this session. So if I want to start today, we will have to go through the agenda. So the main thing, we will start with the safety moment. After that, we are going to do for you an introduction about our speakers that are participating today. And then we will go through the introduction of the augmented field procedures. This will be followed by a panel discussion for our speakers, where we can highlight the main questions. And then we will have, by the end of the session, a Q&A session for our attendees. So starting by safety moment, I wish everyone that are hearing us today to stay healthy and safe. And I would recommend that everyone use the technologies that have been harnessed by us these days and try to stay home and work remotely. Please also avoid any kind of social gathering. We also wish you to also follow the main international WHO procedures when it comes to hygiene, when it comes to wash your hands instantly, to try to avoid crowded places, and also to make sure that you make this environment safe for you, your family, your friends, and also your colleagues. So starting to introduce our speakers for today, we're going to start with introduction with our Global Production Manager for Manufacturing Operation Management. It will be Matilda Steiner Arvidsson. And we also have Dr. Ziad Kurtani. He's our Global Technology Manager for Chemicals and Refining. Then we will have Ronan O'Sullivan, who's our lead digital for industries and solutions when it comes to the Middle East, India, and Africa region. And also we have Logaraj Balasubramanian. He's our market development manager, and he will also be able to assist you to later if you have any kind of questions or any kind of feedback. Okay, and the mic for you, Matilda.
Thank you. A warm welcome also from my side. I will give you a brief introduction during the next 20 minutes about the future of standard operating procedures and how we can enhance safety and increase operational efficiency by making field procedures mobile, augmented, and integrated. And I will start off by talking about the challenges we have in the daily operations, and then to see how digital procedures and the connected worker can address these challenges, and then also introduce our newly launched application called ABB Ability Augmented Field Procedures. And I think it's interesting to see that in the industry that ABB is serving, which is energy and process industries, so highly critical industries, despite the sophistication and high degree of automation, if we look at where incidents happen and downtime and waste, it is to a large extent caused by human errors. There's a lot of research done here. I've just shown one example here from ARC, and the bottom line is that the impact of human errors is around 65 to 70% if we look at the root cause for incidents and downtimes. And the associated cost is in the billion, it's a two-digit billion number. So clearly it's something that a lot of our industries and customers are looking into how they can improve. And typically what we see is that we try to mitigate these human errors by introducing procedures. So we have procedures that are done like routine rounds. Typically that's something that is done daily or per shift or hourly, where we have field operators or operators going out and doing manual readings, checking equipment status, taking lab data, or just checking the work environment. Typically, still today, this is happening using paper. So you see some examples here. It can be a log sheet that somebody goes out and fill out numbers or checking things. And of course, this works, but you can imagine that it is always potential for doing things wrong. You don't have the information available digitally, so you cannot really act on it in a direct way. And then we have the other type of procedures that are usually a bit more complex. They usually also involves more than one role or person. It can be related to material transfers, startup, shutdowns, changeovers. If you have an event that is triggering some out of control action plans. Here we have normally SOPs that can go over many hours or even days. So higher complexity and also higher potential for errors happening, and also a potential for more significant impact of any errors. So again, most of our customers or the industry standard is to have this kind of SOP, standard operating procedures, but still we have errors and we have mistakes happening. So what is the root cause here? Again, ARC did a study last year to investigate why these procedures are not followed. And there's a number of reasons why they are not followed. In essence, it's about they are not practical, they are too difficult to follow, they might not be the latest version, they are unworkable in the real world circumstances. And one thing that was pointed out also is that they do not reflect the complexity you have when you work in collaboration with a control system, with the automated control actions. And you do not have the real-time information available when you're executing these field procedures. Just to give some examples of things that has been pointed out to us by our customers, typical incidents happen when we are acting on valves. There's a number of manual procedures that involves acting on a valve in a defined sequence, and here there is a potential for forgetting to close a valve, turning the wrong valve. You see on the picture here, they all look pretty much the same. A failure to complete the reverse isolation, poor communication, etc. And the impact of a small thing like acting on the wrong valve can, of course, be significant. So if we don't safely isolate a pump, for instance, when we want to change a filter, it can have really hazardous for the people involved. It can also be smaller incidents happening that I'm just having a material waste and I need to clean, but it's a waste and it takes time and it can impact the production. Another topic that has been raised by our customers is the communication between the field and the control room. So typically on the right-hand side here, we have the field operator out doing his job, and he needs information about the state or some information from the plant. He radios into the control room, where the control room operator most likely is busy with something else. So on one hand here we have a disturbance. The second one is that with the radio communication, there is a frequent source for misunderstanding. So the control room operator misunderstands the question from the field operator, and the field operator might misunderstand the reply from the control room operator. In addition to that, it might be that the control room operator is busy with something else, so the field operator stands here and is waiting and might decide then that he continues without having the confirmation. So big topic when it comes to misunderstandings, delays, and things going wrong. So this type of challenges and issues we have in the daily operations was the basis for ABB's vision of the connected field operator, where we want to leverage technology, wearables, and artificial intelligence. And the 6 topics that we are addressing here is around mobility, so that the field operator has what they need when they need it. Mobility is a big trend, not only in our personal lives, but also in the industrial world at the moment. So anything I can have with me and use when I need it is of essence. The second one, get connected. So again, the field operator needs to have access to real-time information to support the job that they're doing in an effective way. And typically, we are not working in isolation, so be able to work seamlessly and collaborate in an effective way is also a core in the connected field operator. And then the assistance and guidance. So similarly as we have in the paper-based SOPs, we want to support the operator by having this step-by-step guidance and to give additional knowledge by providing videos, additional user manuals, drawings, PNIDs that the field operator can get access to when needed, if needed, and to leverage artificial intelligence by using the collected information from the previous runs and from previous experience in this context. And last but not least, to use technology like augmented reality to have information in the context of the real world. So with this vision of the connected field operator, we are introducing our ABB Ability Augmented Field Procedure, which is a software application that digitalizes industrial procedures and allows for this seamless collaboration of the execution of procedures. And the core here is the procedure manager that you see here in the middle. This is where we digitalize the historical paper-based SOPs and can also integrate to surrounding systems and applications. Typically, it would be with a control system, but it can also be with a ERP system or other applications where you have relevant information available. And this is then presented to the field operator, either using a mobile application that is used with a mobile device. It can be an industrial tablet or a smartphone, or to use the Microsoft HoloLens glasses, where you also then, in addition to having the procedures digitalized, you also have hands-free and the opportunity to use augmented reality. So we will have a look how this works in reality. In this example here, we have a offloading of the tank content here to a tank car coming in. And the procedure is as follows. I want to reduce the temperature in this tank here. It's now 73 degrees and it needs to be below 50 degrees to be safe. There's also different offloading couplings here, so it's a potential for selecting the wrong one, which have a significant impact because they're incompatible materials. And then, of course, it's important that I follow a certain sequence of the valves and the recirculation to make it in a proper way. And now in this picture here, you have on the right-hand side what would be seen in the control room. So you have the tank and how it looks. And then on the left-hand side, you would have the view from the field operator working in the tablet. So the first thing I have seen here is that I have a job that has been assigned to me, offloading a procedure, and always compare that now with the paper-based version where somebody first has to print the PDF and hand it over to you. In this case here, it's automatically kind of digitally sent to me, and I can start the process by selecting my job. And then I will be presented with the protocol overview. And this gives me the purpose of this job. It gives me information about any health and safety or risks that I need to be aware of. It gives me information about any PPEs I need to wear. And after acknowledging that, I'm presented with an overview of my procedure. So in this case here, I have three main sequences: the recirculation sequence, the offloading preparation sequence, and the offloading sequence. And you see here also in between the different steps that will be performed, and the little icon here also indicates that there are different roles involved in this procedure. So this is how we can work seamlessly in collaboration, and I know when it's my turn to do something and when somebody else should do something. So we will kick off this procedure now, and the first thing I will be presented with is the first step. And this is a simple confirmation that I will start it, and then it's handed over to the next step. And again, if I need additional information, I get access to that by clicking on the hide help, and here, oops, excuse me. In again. So come back here. So I can have additional information made available to me, as I mentioned before. It can be drawings, or it can be user manuals, or PNIDs. Here. And I can also add comments if there's an observation that I have that I want to assign. Now here you can see that I can automatically record temperatures. I can also have real-time values from the control system visible in my tablet, so I know where I am in the process. I can record manual values in the tablet. And I can use the technology of the camera to scan barcodes. And this is something typically I want to do if I might want to make sure that I'm doing my task at the right asset or device. So I'm checking here now that I'm using the right offloading coupling, else I would not be able to continue this step here now, but it's green, so it's correct. And then I can also use the camera to document that I have performed the task in the correct way. So I can take a photo of the coupling in this case, but this is another device. I'm taking a photo here, but the point is that I can attach a photo to the execution of this procedure, and it's left as a digital record of what I've done. It's also possible to build in different type of workflows behind each of the tasks. So it's not only checklist support, but it can be a number of things that I want to check and have the consequence of. And then in the end, I do the digital signing of the process, and it's all there for me to see what has happened. Another way of using the digitalized procedures is to use the HoloLens application. So in this case here, the procedure and the task will be visited through the glasses here. You see in the middle that the field operator can see the task at hand and can use either the voice command or the hand gesture to advance. And in the context then, the real-time information on the right-hand side, you will see that we can add labels that is kind of overlaid on the physical plant of this real-time information. And we can use the camera to take photos or to scan barcodes. And I will show a little bit from a video here as well. So this is the same procedure as we saw before. I'm offloading a tanker and I'm at the recirculation. So now in this case, I'm seeing the step through my HoloLens glasses, and we are doing the countdown here now. And on the right-hand side, I see the subsequent steps that will happen after the recirculation. So I'm starting the recirculation. Advancing a little bit here, sorry. And now it's counting down. And this is an example with only a short countdown. Normally you might have 1 hour or 2 hours you have to wait. So and then you will now see the augmented reality, how that can look. This is now just a model of this tank where you see, but you see now that I have the real-time information available through my glasses, and I can see how the temperature went down. And this is another application of using the augmented field procedure where I'm using it for training purposes. So we now have, in this case, not the real world, but we have a virtual environment from the same offloading sequence, and I'm using a virtual copy of the plant here so that I can train operators in a safe environment. So again, being able to work through the whole procedure before I go out in the real plant. So to summarize the key features, what we have seen today is the digitalization of procedures help me to have step-by-step instructions that are workable for the operator to ensure that all steps are done in a correct way. I can have access to supporting information, and I can use the built-in camera to use the QR code scanning and take pictures, again, to make sure that I'm doing my work in the correct way at the correct asset or device. I can collect data manually or automatically by integrating to the control system. I can add comments. It can be comments to the task that I'm doing or to the procedure. So this enables continuous improvement of what we're doing in our operations. I can synchronize my task with the control system, so I can read and write to the control system and work in synchronization. I have access to real-time information, which is helpful, of course, when I'm out in the field. I don't have to disturb the control room operator and radio into them and ask things and make them do things for me. I have access to augmented reality and work hands-free with the HoloLens application. And I have voice commands and synthesize also to support the hands-free. I can speak to the application and also get answer. There's a chatbot available, so you can ask questions and get additional information based on the previous run-throughs. And I have the digital signature of that the procedure was done in the correct way, and I have a complete audit trail of the actions. So to summarize, the whole digitalization of procedures is about enabling safe and smart operations. We've shown some examples of how we can reduce incidents and abnormal situations by this effective guidance and supporting of workers. We can increase efficiency by improving the creation, distribution, and maintenance of these procedures. Instead of using paper copies, we can much faster react on things and distribute these jobs and also see how they are executed in real time. We can improve the field operation collaboration by linking procedures and tasks to the involved roles and being able to work seamlessly between each other. We can retain corporate and tribal knowledge, so we have the basis for operator training and certification. And we can accelerate process improvement by having this execution performance, collected data, and operator comments that we can integrate in this continuous improvement. And last but not least, we have this complete audit trail of what has happened in digital form. So I am handing over to you again, Hanan. So I think we are through with this part of the session. So if you have any questions.
Hi, thank you, Matilda. And I just wanted to thank you for your introduction. And just to remind everybody, there will be a Q&A. There's a Q&A section there where you can really put your questions. But before that, we're going to have a round table discussion with our speakers here. So I would love to start with Logaraj. So Logaraj, I want to ask you, regarding augmented field procedures, what will be the process and operations that will be ideal situation to use at the moment in the market?
Thanks, Hannah. Do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, your voice is very low.
Okay, I'm going to try to really louder.
Fine. So, in terms of process and operations, let's take an ideal situation of a well-automated plant. So, even in case of a well-automated plant, there could be 20 to 30% of operations either handled in total manual or in hybrid with a part automation and part manual. So some examples, like Matilda mentioned, standard operating procedures such as loading and unloading, where a field operator has to work in conjunction with a control room operator. Uh, for example, operations like equipment maintenance, inspection, operator rounds, routines, or any kind of standard preventive maintenance or parts replacement, any kind of procedures which are written down in paper or operators used to do that in experience. For example, emergency procedures. So all those can be incorporated using AFP. And the other thing is, in broad terms, AFP can be applied to any industries or any operations where safety is priority, right? So AFP could also help customers who have regulatory or compliance obligations, just like Matilda mentioned. Uh, for example, customers who need to have record of events for insurance purposes or investigations or training, this could be of great help. And and importantly, we are talking digital transformation, digitalization. Why not we digitize human knowledge? So these tools like AFP can digitize the knowledge part in times of aging workforce in order to prepare the younger workforce. Uh, these tools will help digitize the experience gained in the years, and it will also help improve productivity. So in short, AFP is a tool to facilitate customer daily needs. It is not just limited to process operations. Possibilities could be many, uh, uh, mechanical team, instrumentation team, or electrical team, or even safety team. They can incorporate this tool into their daily needs. Does that fit your question, Anand?
Yes, it's for sure. Thank you, Logaraj. I would like also to ask Ziad. So, Ziad, coming to talk about this technology that it's designed for the downstream or chemicals industry, can it be used also in process industry? Would you like to shed a light on that?
Hi, Hanan. Hey, good afternoon, good morning. Yes, this technology has been, if you want, triggered from the downstream business within ABB to look at how we can support operators on site. But this is really not limited to chemicals and refining, but it can also be on onshore or offshore business. It can be on utilities, the power side as well. The way the solution has been uh, put together is really looking at customer needs first, but also building the vision for the future. The way we're seeing the technology moving is towards what we call autonomous operations. If you see, particularly in contexts like where we operate today, the less human interaction you have with your systems, the better it is. And this is where we have been setting up ourselves in looking at the basics, but also incorporating the newest technology that you can see in the market. Matilda has mentioned a couple points there, but if you allow me, if you look at the advances, artificial intelligence, and the capability that can bring us, it's really it is an enormous benefit that you can get out of it. Think about it simply that you are on that particular site or in a platform or in front of your transformer. You need both hands so that you can start really doing some of the operation physically. And at the same time, you still would like to have access to someone to support you on the back end, and that will be, via voice command. You can chat with your colleagues on via really the communication means that we have today, but also you can interact directly with the system itself. So you can ask question, okay, am I actually in front of the right vault? Am I really doing the right things? I mean, I'm not sure about the action I'm doing. Is this really the right thing for me to do? So speech recognition, voice command using some natural language processing has been incorporated on top of that. Uh, what we also are aiming for in order to eliminate most of the waste in running and optimizing these procedures is applying some machine learning in analyzing the amount of data that has been collected in order to recommend actions for the operator based on previous cases. And this is where we can really eliminate or optimize the execution of this procedure.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much. I think I have to go back to Matilda on this case because Matilda, I want to ask you. So when it comes to this system, when it comes to this technology, is it only going to work with ABB system, or it could this is the real or is it going or is it really applicable to be integrated with other systems? This is a question that's usually being driven by whenever there is anything to be innovated or to be really introduced to the market. One of the main questions which we get from customers is this one. So what do you think about that?
So clearly, we integrate with our own control systems, but we know that our customers have always there's always a landscape that consists of non-ABB things. So we are with this application, with agnostic to the control system. It works with ABB and third-party control systems via OPC. We also have integration enabled to higher level systems, so ERP system or other applications that should be integrated. So answer is clearly we integrate with ABBs in a seamless way, but we also have integration to third party.
Okay. Here I want to address about very important feature, which is about safety and efficiency. And I think Ronan, you could really give us shed for us some really main highlights about this because it's a very necessary feature now in all the new technologies that are presented in the market. Can you just please give us your thought, give us your thoughts on that?
Thanks, Hanan. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very clearly.
Great, great. So yeah, from a safety perspective, look, safety is a number one priority for us, and enhancing safety is a priority within this solution. So as Matilda mentioned, we're trying to minimize the human error by improving consistency while operators are executing their procedures. So in giving them visibility into the control system, as we just mentioned, the integration to different control systems, or really the process as well as their activities, we're allowing the people to get a complete picture of the environment that they're working in. And then from an efficiency standpoint, we want to reduce the startup time, shutdowns, and even shift handovers by driving more effective execution of procedures. So let's face it, paper-based procedures can lead to operators not executing rounds properly. And with AFP, the operators can be guided digitally through the procedures. So really our goal with AFP is to make our field procedures mobile, augmented, and integrated in order to drive efficiency in your operations and most importantly, enhance the safety of your facilities. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, thank you so much, Ronan. Talking about safety, also, we are talking about safety when it comes to networking, and then it takes me to a very important subject, which is the cybersecurity. And I think I need to direct this to Lograj. So, Lograj, if you want to know what will be the considerations for cybersecurity of this technology, what do you think?
Do you hear me, Hanan?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Cybersecurity. Firstly, ABB Cybersecurity Council has mandated MCSR, which means minimum cybersecurity requirements for all product services, even projects and related services delivered by ABB. So that means when we deliver this AFP during the project phase, we consider all the cybersecurity needs. So this solution is designed to fit in level 3 automation. So the data transaction happens between all the layers above and below. So which means right from the edge level, the OPC server, the DCS servers, and from the top, the enterprise servers. So all these become the member of the cybersecurity architecture. So this procedure editor part, which Matilda mentioned, has got some servers, and all the handheld devices becomes the client. So there are a huge number of servers and clients involved in this architecture. So the traditional device in depth protocol applies for securing data, device, application, network through the regular access management protocols, encryption protocols. So we follow the events in depth, security patches, updates, antivirus, whitelisting. Those all still applies to those server members. In addition to that, the mobile clients follow the mobile clients and the wearables. They follow the MDM, which is called multi-device management. So we create separate work profiles for them. We have a dedicated security patches for them. They have different device tokens and certificates. Uh, so so broadly, we group into two group of devices: servers, workstations in a different way, and these mobiles, wearables in a different way. So we cater to those devices. In short, cybersecurity is very important aspect taken care all the way through design, engineering, delivery, and after service for AFP.
Okay, thank you, Logaraj, to highlight it to us. I would like to go through the business model now. How is this system offered? And I think that I want to know that from Ronan. Ronan, what do you think? How is the system really, the business model of the system will be offered?
Yeah, thanks, Hanan. So as of right now, we've got a monthly subscription-based pricing model. We have different tiers, such as light, standard, and premium packages. The different levels will range from just the mobile app, the procedure manager with a certain number of procedure definitions, and then all the way to integration and augmented reality enablement. So please feel free to reach out to any of the speakers today or your local ABB rep in order to get more information. For those on the call that already have service agreements with us, we can easily add this to the agreements. So look forward to taking this conversation further with everyone on this call.
Yeah, thank you, Ronan. I just want to highlight also here that we're going to send everybody the main information and the main link for this session because it will be recorded, as well as also all this, whatever, I mean, also it will be emails and your connections for everyone so they can really be in contact. I would like to ask something about remote connectivity. So what kind of connectivity is needed to have this solution activated in the field? I think that I would really drive this question to Lugaraj.
Yeah, do you hear me, Hannah?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Connectivity, that is up to customer to choose, but we prefer to have an industrial Wi-Fi without internet. Uh, but it depends upon really a lot of factors like how much is the area, whether they have LAN connections available or they prefer to go over 3G or 4G. It's up to customer choice. But we prefer to have industrial Wi-Fi without internet because it will be totally on-prem solution communicating between the servers and clients. Uh, so yeah, so in short, industrial Wi-Fi is preferred number one. It can work in 3G, 4G as well.
Last last question on this panel discussion, and then we will start the Q&As. I can see many really interesting questions there from our audience, so this will be fast. This is for you, Ziad. So during this challenging time, how can the solution favor the customers in the current situations where you can see that where what's really going on now, what's really going around globally? What do you think that that kind of technology can favor the customers with?
Thank you, Hanan. And by the way, I hope everyone is safe who is listening. Look, I mean, it is very simple. The new normal that we will be living now on, like, future is not going to be the same as we have been probably in December time. We have seen the rise of using digital technology while everyone is locked up places, trying to support whether customers, whether suppliers, whether other communities, in order to really keep life on going. If we look at the technology today and how it supports our end users or customers and we keep the operations running, you've got two things. I mean, first, it allows you on this social distancing. So if you have a new hire that you need to train, a simple device like the augmented reality, you have everything in 3D model. You actually someone can just run this either their own with their laptops or in a room where they are on their own and they get trained.
Ziad, can you just raise your voice a little bit? I think we are just encountering some.
Yeah.
Yeah, please, yeah.
Sorry about that. I might actually be losing a little bit of my network.
Oh, no problem. Yeah.
Good. So yeah, I was just saying, like, from a training perspective, this is really important, given the social distancing measures that we have today. So you can run through a program, you can get trained on your own, but you have all the backend needed from the experts. On the other end, you still also need to keep the operating running. So the operations running at normal performance or the way it has been set by the management in specific sites. And for that, being able to interact with your colleagues without the need to see them face to face, having everything at hand, that is really key in order to run a safe and smart operation.
Okay. Thank you so much. And by this last question on the panel discussion, we can really start the Q&A now. So we have a couple of questions from Atul Kumar, and he's asking, can you execute this task on mobile device for multiple instances, for multiple offloading procedures at the same time by same or different users?
Yes, it is possible.
Okay. There is another question asking, does your application also support RFID for scanning purposes apart from QR code barcodes?
We don't supply RFID as part of the AFP delivery, but AFP can work together with RFID solutions. It's, in short, yes, it is possible.
Okay. I think we have another question from Atul also. He's asking, what OS does the mobile devices uses? Windows, Android, iOS?
So today we support Android, and by end of 2020 we will also have support for iOS.
Okay. Another question from Atul is saying, does ABB own the device or do you have partnerships with industrial device providers?
ABB owns the software. We partner with third party for devices.
So if the customer already have devices, they can use them, or we can provide as part of our delivery. So it's depending on how they are set up.
Okay. Another question from Satya Murthy Devendran, and he's asking, mobile devices are flame-proof to use on the planet area, in the plant area?
Yes, we got devices Zone 1, Zone 2 certified.
Okay. Another question from Rufat Farzana. And he's saying, I imagine there will be quite a lot of effort to get plant 3D models converted into augmented reality compatible formats that could be used on HoloLenses. So are there any examples that were already developed anywhere?
Hi, Rufat. Yeah, I can take this question, Hanan. So you might actually, I mean, this is very to the point. It's really looking at the old plants that have been built. I don't know when in the 70s, 80s, probably difficult to think about how this will go into a 3D model. But let me put it this way. You might also be aware that we have a strategic partnership with Dassault System, which actually is helping us in this type of technology together from a augmented reality or from converting these models into or type of augmented reality. So
Ziad, we cannot hear you. Can you just, I'm sorry, I cannot hear
yeah,
you.
I'm trying to speak loud. Yeah, I hope everyone is still hearing me. I was just mentioning that you might be aware of the strategic partnership that we have with Dassault System, and they work with us together in order to bring in the technologies, like converting these models into augmented reality compatible type of formats. These are things that we do together, and we work with the joint customers together on this.
Okay, thank you, Ziad. Another question from Angelo Diaz, and he is asking, if SCADA shall be in place to attain the technology? Yeah, that was his question.
So this technology is to address the needs where SCADA does not fit in. So SCADA traditionally helps for telemetry where wire connections are available, automation is possible. This solution fits in where automation is not possible. This is focused on uh, empowering mobile users or field users where they used to do a lot of manual activities. This is not in replacement of SCADA. This is a complement towards SCADA.
Okay. Another question from Atul Kumar. He's asking, can augmented reality application interact on real time with DCS, SCADA, PLC, and ERP systems directly?
Yes, it is possible.
Okay. So there's a question from Jivan Patel, and he's asking, is Emulator available for desktop version?
Say again, sorry.
Sorry.
We could
Can you
not hear
repeat
you.
the question?
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
He's asking, Jivan Patel is asking, is Emulator available for desktop version?
Yes,
No,
basically any, I mean, we can use any, not from ABB, but third-party emulators can be used. There's a number of them that are available so that you can have it visualized in your notebook or on your PC. But it's not an ABB product then, but a third party.
no. If
Okay.
the question is specifically AFP is having emulator, no, AFP does not need emulator. This is a procedure workflow system which does not need emulator.
Okay. Another question from, I think, Angelo Diaz also, and he's asking, is the tablet or device in the field should be an explosion proof, considering that the field is within hazardous location class 1?
Yes, if you're going to be using those tablets in those areas, it certainly should have that. And we can support you to get the right material for going into those critical areas.
Okay. Another question from Atul Kumar, and he's asking, does the RA device support 4G SIM access or only Wi-Fi?
Going to support both. Lograj went into that detail on 4G connectivity as well as Wi-Fi.
Okay, I think there's another question. It will be relevant to the same one here. I mean, and he's asking, is that during this challenging time, Wi-Fi setup may be a challenge because of higher budget for setup, as a lot of plants won't like to invest. 4G cellular connectivity may be a cheaper solution. So does this gives a good connectivity using cellular access for device on? And I'm sorry, I can't. I mean, the word is disappearing from here. I cannot read it, but I think you get the point on that. I think this is for you, Logaraj.
Yeah, so it's really up to customer's choice. We can work with industrial Wi-Fi also, 4G also.
Okay. Another question from Satya
But,
Murthy. Sorry, go ahead.
but yeah, so Wi-Fi does not mean Wi-Fi always has internet. So if you say it is expensive, uh, maybe the Wi-Fi with internet could be expensive, but without internet, you just need a modem and router. And for example, if it's a 1 kilometer area, two to three one modem and two to three routers can cover the area. It's not expensive for 1 kilometer of coverage
Very well.
without internet.
Okay. Another question from Satya Murthy Devendran, and then he is asking, can we keep these servers in cloud? If yes, how will connect with the handheld device?
Uh, these are designed to be on-prem for now, but if you have cloud infrastructure, we can make it run in cloud as well. The connectivity with the device would be through, again, same industrial Wi-Fi or 3G, 4G.
Yeah, so we can support you as well with a reference architecture to take a closer look at how we want to set up the infrastructure itself. So feel free to reach out to us on that as well.
Very good. I think somebody was asking if this session is recorded, and I have to answer that yes, this is going to be recorded, and you will be sent the main link, which will be in the ABB TechTalks website. So there is a question, what kind of partner, I mean, from Satya also, I mean, he's asking what kind of partnership model available for system integrators?
Yeah, so I can take that one. Yeah, we can certainly have a discussion with the specific system integrators and really get an idea of what your workforce looks like and how we can even upskill some of the people that are executing projects for the system integrators. So please feel free to reach out to me directly, and we'll discuss setting up a business model for the particular system integrator.
Okay, thank you, Ronan. Another question from Jivan Patel, and he's asking, can a field engineer in a plant design a checklist or procedures without ABB intervention? And he's saying definitely after training from ABB.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the solution. We provide you with infrastructure and software and a framework so that you can fill in your procedure.
Okay.
And the way, maybe I can just add here, so the way the procedure manager, the editor, is done is that there are predefined templates so that you yourself can define the procedures or checklists that you need in your operation. So it's drag and drop and easy to configure.
Okay. I think this question was answered before, but I'm not sure. Can this technology can integrate ERP or SAP? And then currently our maintenance plan are uploaded in ERP or SAP. I think it was already answered, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Hanan, I think it's actually a good question because this is where we're really looking at the digital transformation, if we want, on smart plants, is really bringing the level 1 all the way to the level 4. And one of the beauty of this technology is that we are allowing to connect the south to the south end, and that's basically the DCS area, but also you can look at connectivity on the north end, which is around the ERP or the MES execution of your system. So when you get a work procedure to be executed that is basically triggered somehow from the north end on the level 4. So yeah, connectivity is feasible.
All right, thank you so much. Ziad, I think the last question here, which I can see, there was a question here from also again a tool, and he's asking, does your AR application have simulation capability while designing and running to check the execution flow on procedure designed, or we can only run the design procedure on the mobile device only? Can be quickly done using desktop-based simulator.
Okay, there are two parts to this question. Let me answer the first part. AFP is a standalone tool, right? It can interact with any system. If you have a simulation system already, we can interact with AFP can interact with that simulation system so that you can use that for training purposes. And your flow execution, you can check all those. If you have a separate simulation system, then the design procedure, if you want to run in mobile device only, it's up to you. If you have wearable devices like HoloLens, you can run it in those HoloLens devices as well, and the mobile devices as well.
Okay, thank you so much. If any more questions from our audience, because I can just see that this is the last one that's been asked. Okay, so I will see. Yeah, I mean, last question by Jivan Patil. He's asking, can a workflow be assigned in a specific procedure or checklist?
Yes, that's possible.
Okay. Okay, our attendees, if you would like to have any more questions, would you please just post it? However, if you are not able, actually, if you will come with a later, I mean, with much more questions or clarification, we will, as I mentioned before, at the beginning of the presentation, the session is recorded and it will be saved on the ABB TikTok webinars website, and all of you will be having and able to access it. And you are also interested to send it to your colleagues, to your managers, or to your whatever distribution list you want to. They can have the access and watch it. Also, if you would like have any more interaction with our speakers, we will be sending to everybody who attended the session an email, the emails, and also the main addresses for our speakers. So you can just be interacting with them directly and present your points or bullets that you need to have to clarify on. I just want to have a wrap on this. First of all, thank you everyone to participate. It was really good to have you there. I want to thank my speakers, Matilda, Yad, Lugaraj, Ronan, and behind the scenes, I want to ask, to thank my colleagues, my colleague Akanksha. So everyone, thank you so much to attend. We will be finishing the session now. I wish you all a very safe and happy day, and see you in the next webinars. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Hanan. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.